Cheers. Happy Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays to all of you. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. Let me know in chat what you're drinking tonight. Make sure you click that like, click that share, help more people find us. Kind of change plans on the fly here for this episode. We were going to do it at the brewery. We're going to have some more beer and whiskey pairings. Unfortunately, our brewmaster friend is been under the weather all week. There's just a couple nasty bugs going around. So we're going to move that and do that at the first of the year. So I decided we were going to keep Sugar Kitty busy tonight, screaming redacted at me. And we're going to review a Powers single pot still flight with Powers John's Lane Cask Strength. So I know you guys have been asking me how it is. It's going to be one that releases every year. So I want to get you some info on it. So let's see who we have in chat tonight. And where's my mouse? There it is. Slapshots Roadhouse. Cheers, Brian. It is good to see you. Mr. Gunderson. Cheers to you. Thank you for joining me. Cheers, Taste and Sensibility. Sláinte to you. Cheers, John Krantz. It is good to see you. I'll say hi to some more people as they pop in. I know tonight's busy. I went with Sunday because Sunday usually was wide open, and now it's a busy week. I think everybody's trying to squeeze stuff in before Christmas. So instead of having you guys just watch me sit and have this flight, I decided I'm going to invite a friend to join me. And I thought, who better than my local Hibernian, Ancient Order of Hibernians organization's Hibernian of the Year. So please help me welcome Mr. Scott Robinson.
Hi, everybody.
Gorgeous.
Happy holidays and Merry Christmas.
Good looking baldric there.
I only have it for a year, so I got to get it. And I also need to practice because I'm a lefty and I keep putting it on the wrong shoulder. And it reads backwards. So I've had people in church like come up and rearrange it for me. So
yeah, I noticed that one time in church because it was looking like, and you kept trying to twist it and get it. I'm like, right shoulder, right shoulder.
Well, I tried, and that's my regular baldric for the Hibernians. But usually, I'm dressed up. If I have to wear it, I have to dress up. And I'm trying not to get it wrinkled in the car on the ride down. So, I have it hanging. So I pull it out of the car and I'm running into the church trying to get it adjusted on the fly, and it never ever works. So
hey, we have a couple more people in here. Cheers, Tater Tom. It is good to see you. Thought we had somebody else. That was it. I am actually switching it up for my starter pour tonight. So my go-to starter pour is the one that you and I enjoy frequently at the hall, which is Redbreast 12. But tonight I decided to mix it up. So I went with some Powers Gold Label tonight, just to get us started.
All righty.
So you guys are going to see a lot of these old school bottles tonight because big Irish whiskey geeks like me love these old bottle designs and snap as many up as we can. There's one of my favorite Irishmen. Cheers to you, Cool Running. We are going over this new Powers John's Lane Cask Strength. This is one of the few. This bottle and the rye are the only two newer bottle designs that I have. That's because they don't have an old bottle design on those two. What are you starting off with, Scott?
I'm going to start off with one of your samples, but I'll take my time till we get to it. I'm going to do the Powers Signature.
Do you want to start with Signature, or should we start with Three Swallows?
Let's do Three Swallows.
Three Swallows. Okay, well, let's start with Three Swallows. So,
all right, I'll let that one rest.
I got a little bit of information, and I actually just finished my Three Swallow bottle here. I wanted to get a little information on these because if you read Powers Three Swallows and Powers Signature bottle, the notes on the front of the bottle are almost identical. So I think, all right, well, they clearly taste different. So what is the difference between them? So I was able to dig and find a little information. So the Powers Three Swallow is no age statement, but it's supposed to be around 6 years old. This is matured primarily ex-bourbon refill with some ex-sherry refill. And then Oloroso sherry finish. And this one is 43.2% ABV. So blue bottle on the shelves, and they went to like a baby blue. I don't mind that bottle, that label design actually. I kind of like it. And honestly, Power 3, what do you think of Power 3 Swallows? I honestly think it's one of the better bargains.
It is, yeah. For the price point and the taste, it's right up there with you know, my probably top 5 regular pours.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah, every time I see a bottle, if I'm running low, thankfully I just restocked around Thanksgiving, but it's hard to beat for me. I really enjoy it as even as a everyday sipper.
It really could be. I mean, you're not gonna. I can't think of another single pot still really that you're gonna get for that price.
No, and for that quality,
really, I'm gonna need to restock.
Yeah, yeah, you are.
Yeah. So this one actually, from what I could look up, it just released originally around 2015-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of not with much fanfare. And so people didn't really know what to make of it. And I think it's really started to take off. Unfortunately, I think it started to take off because I don't make Signature anymore. And cheers. There's Old Pirate Bourbon. Cheers to you. Oh, here you go. Sugar Kitty. Oh boy, I'm going to be working your keyboard tonight with how many times you're going to be telling me redacted. So a lot of them, they don't like me to mention the Powers John's Lane because everybody really likes it. They're worried that the price is going to go up.
Oh,
I don't agree necessarily with that. I think IDL is going to do whatever IDL wants to do.
Yeah, but I will say the Powers line. I've been kind of over the moon happy about it, but compared to some of the other price points we're seeing coming in, especially here in Ohio.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff, well, the biggest one comes to mind is like Red Spot. And some of those
insane. $204 now here.
Yeah.
$204. All of the spots, they seem to be, and I don't know if I'm assuming it's by intention, that there seem to be differentiating the brands. So you've got Redbreast lineup kind of in the middle, and you've got Powers kind of leaning more into the affordability. And you've got the spots just way the hell out here in crazy land.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's like, Powers was a more established name, I think, here in the States. And I think unless you were really into the whiskeys and knew like the history of Irish whiskeys, or you took a trip to Ireland to know about, the Green Spot.
Yeah.
But, I remember Red Spot hitting here right before the pandemic, if I recall.
Yeah.
And it was, I think, 109 a bottle or 115 maybe.
It was 115.
Yes. And thankfully I bought a few while it was still there. And then that's kind of when we caught on to the Irish whiskey fans and we were chasing other stuff. But
I looked back at a picture of how much whiskey I had at that time, and Red Spot was one of them. Yeah, but it was like this much.
Yeah, and we, but that's the thing about Powers, and I think it just is kind of like because it's such an established name, and like Barry Chandler always says, you have your Jameson families and you have your Powers families.
Yeah,
and I remember my folks, when they came back from Ireland, and they're not, my folks aren't big drinkers. But they were all about the Powers because they went to the Powers Irish Coffee Festival, and I think it was early 2000 or maybe 1999. But Maureen O'Hara was still living, so they were thrilled that she was there and that they tried actual Irish coffees for the first time over there, and it was all about they won't let me make them with anything else other than Powers now every Christmas Eve. So I'm getting geared up for that. But I think Powers, I think they're doing a smart thing by keeping it reasonable. And like I said, they're they're decent pours. I mean,
it really is. And if you see here, the prices we're actually, so we're at 204.
I
John
saw
says,
it
in
125 something.
Wisconsin, 350.
Holy
And
mackerel.
Donald, which means we need to take a road trip to Ontario because it's 125.
Wow. That's a good price.
$50 for John's Lane. And
Mm.
Eric says, yeah, Yellow Spot is $50 more now than last time he bought it a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane how and it seems to be the spots more than anything that have just blown up.
Yeah.
But you were talking about, our connections over there. The first time I tried Powers 3 Swallow was from a good friend of ours, Mark, whose first wife, who sadly is no longer with us, but she had connections to the Powers family over there and danced at Bunratty. And he came to a party at our house and brought a bottle of 3 Swallows that John Powers had sent him over, from the Powers family had sent him. And he just left it here and said, no, just keep it. And of course, then we were thrilled to find out you could actually get it in the US.
Yeah.
Not long after that, but.
Well, I mean, I know it's been here. I go into the liquor store and I've grabbed regular Powers for years. And I drink both. I like Jameson and I like Powers, but with some of the, the 3 Swallows and especially the Powers Rye, I'm becoming,
that's a good one.
Those are becoming more of my favorites. And I think, it's nice to try the spots and I do enjoy them, but, some of those whiskeys, they're pricing themselves out, at least out of not my budget, but I've found some pours in the Powers range is among most of them that are reasonable and they're really good. I mean, they hold up to anybody, but.
So here's the problem I have with the pricing that the IDL has set for. It doesn't seem to be Powers, but the other two. If you're in a state where you can get shipped into that allows that, you can get a bottle of Red Spot from Ireland, and with shipping, it's cheaper than I could get it at the local store.
Yeah,
which is just crazy. That shouldn't be. Taste and Sensibility says he's seeing Red Spot $199 in New Orleans. Yeah, still, I don't know that it's worth that still.
It's a great whiskey, but not.
And it's great, but it's like 175 tops. Great.
Yeah. Well, what's funny?
That's excessive, but yeah, Donald says Canadian prices for the spots is still reasonable.
Yeah, it's weird though. I mean, because I remember, not batting an eye to get my yearly bottle of Middleton for $200.
Oh yeah,
that's what you paid, and it's up a little more. I don't know what Middleton runs now a bottle, just the very rare. Is it?
I believe it's. Well, no, I don't think it's 350. The Barry Crockett is 350.
Okay.
I can tell you what it runs now. I have not bought Middleton very rare since the 2020. I did get the Brine Nations last.
Yeah.
It's 244.
Okay, well,
that's not horrible.
That's not horrible for, like you said, that 2020 was probably around 220, I think.
Yes, around 200. I paid 200.
Yeah, you're right. It was 200. It was just at 200. For years, it used to be about 189 in Ohio for, I think, from 2017 to 2019. It was just like around that 189 range. And then 2020, it was 200.
Yeah. Then Donald got a Quail's Gate for 75. That's a good deal. That is a good deal.
Yes.
Hey, Hanging AZ, how are you now? It's good to see you. I was willing to pay 125 or 140. Yeah, I'd pay up to 150. I don't know that I'd have to really be I'm getting to the point where I kind of really want another one, but the bottle of Red Spot I bought was shipped directly from Mitchell and Son, less than one. See, that's a problem. When you can actually buy it there and with shipping, it's cheaper than your local store.
Right.
Your local store is losing out. The very rare is 220 Canadian here, and the Barry Crockett is 270 Canadian. Man, those are some good prices.
Yeah.
Hey, cheers, Jeffrey Wack. Thank you for joining us. I think we're going to move on to our next pour here. Let me pull up the details on this one. So this one is one of my absolute favorites. Unfortunately, it's discontinued. Every time I have a friend come across a bottle, I usually buy it immediately. And that is Power's Signature Release. So this phenomenal single pot still whiskey, 46% ABV. This retails, I don't remember what, I think I only paid like 60, 65 for it at most. This one is another no age statement. It's supposed to be made up of whiskey between 7 and 9 years old, majority matured in refill bourbon casks, and a small portion of first fill bourbon casks and sherry casks. You can definitely tell that first fill bourbon cask because I get anise notes on this. I'll set that right there. This is one of my favorite whiskeys.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. On the nose, it's anise, and then you get kind of that anise vanilla where with the Three Swallows, it's very caramely.
Yeah, I get more fruit on that one also.
Yeah, it's
I get more caramel. Yeah, I get more vanilla anise.
Goes in, and then it goes into more fruity tones for me. But this one is.
I'm assuming Jeff means your Christmas tree and not my pretty little tree right there.
Oh, thank you very much. It's still a work in progress. I collect ornaments, so my trees take forever to finally finish, but they'll be done by Christmas for sure.
I downsized trees this year. Let me know, guys, how big is the tree in your house? So we had a 7.5 foot tree, and last year, I'm not kidding, it took me till like May to get the thing down. I just couldn't deal with it. Yeah. And so this year we downsized, so we have a little like 4 foot tree. I'm like, all right, I can manage that. It's pre-lit. I can manage. Yeah,
this one's a 7.5 footer, and I can't put a topper on it because I have short ceilings in the house. But it's an old Craftsman. It's a Sears Roebuck Kellogg house, so it just drives me nuts because I'd really like to get an 8 or 9 footer because I have enough ornaments to do one of those. But
that's right, you have a Sears Roebuck catalog house, so that the actual plans came out of the catalog.
Yeah, well, and then you ordered them from the catalog, and I think mine out of the catalog was like $4,150. So you'd order it out of the Sears catalog, and then they'd ship everything to build it on the railroad, and you would hire a local contractor, and they'd have all the studs and every board marked with letters and numbers to tell you what went on, what went with what. But this area of Columbus, and I think it's just outside of Bexley and Columbus, are two of the bigger areas still left in the country with a number of the Sears catalog houses. And then they're huge in Illinois. I know that.
Wow. Well, Brian says you like this. His tree is 6 foot and from the 1960s and belonged to his wife's grandmother.
That's amazing.
But that is really cool.
Yes.
They don't make them like that anymore. Mine is 8 foot. I need a ladder for half of it since I'm 5'3". See, you'd be fine with my tree.
Yeah.
My little 4.5 foot tree. So I did the one thing about my tree. So I asked, made sure my husband was okay with it because he has to look at it too for both of us. So I said, I like flocked trees. I think they're really pretty. So I got a flocked tree, and it's got little pine cones, little berries all over the branches. Well, it arrived. Flocked apparently means glitter. So he walks in, and my living room looks like a strip club because there's just glitter all across the floor. The dog has glitter on her. I'm going to be picking up glitter for the next 6 months.
I'm like that when I'd go into work when I was working, and I'd go into the men's room to wash my hands after breakfast and, have my coffee, and then I'd have to go do something that, go to a meeting. So I'd always wash the Egg McMuffin off my hand. But I'd always at Christmas time, I'd always have some splotch of glitter that I missed in the shower, or, it just sticks to you.
Yeah. Cheers, a spirit of life.
Have you had any friends, Stacy, that I had friends that used to, like, I knew to stand outside and open their cards, because I had one friend every year, he fills the Christmas card with glitter and those little like foil stars that teachers used to give you.
Oh yeah. All those
So if you didn't pay attention to whose card it was, you'd have a whole pile all over you and on the floor. But I
wasn't expecting it, the amount of glitter that came off, because I just swept it up and had enough for art class. It was crazy.
Jeez.
Cheers, Christine. Happy early Christmas or strip club Christmas tree time. Cilantro. That is right. The funny thing is, the tree before this, the big one, I had a star on top that looked like a disco ball. So I called it a disco tree. If I had a live tree, it might be 8 to 10 feet, since I have 14 feet ceilings. I have really tall ceilings too. I have no desire to decorate an 8 to 10 foot tree. I'm a little OCD about it. Hey, cheers, David Base. My menorah is 20 inches tall and I'm 6'3", so I have trouble lighting it. Well, happy Hanukkah, Eric. That's awesome. Yeah, I think I actually did a video. It was 2 years ago when I put that tree up and lit it with ABBA playing in the background.
That just popped up in my Facebook memories.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, that you tagged me in that you said the disco tree.
Disco tree. So I went back to the Three Swallows, and I'm getting that caramel that you talked about. When you compare the two side by side.
Yeah.
Yeah. The signature's got a little more spice.
It's spicier, and like I said, that anise taste for me comes forward more in that, and then you get a little bit of the vanillas and the hint of caramel, but still more fruity and caramely on the Three Swallows for me.
Yeah, I get more, and I like that anise note, but you're right, I'm not really getting fruit on that one at all.
Yeah, it's a nice spicy, although I would say for this time of year it would be a great complement to cookies. Christmas cookies, it would, for me, it would be a good shortbread pour.
I was thinking pizzelles. Is it pizzelles?
Well, pizzelles, yeah. Okay. Pizzelles would be perfect with that. Even biscotti.
I have a tiny craft tree that my aunt made in 1969 out of styrofoam balls and spray on snow. It still has the same set of lights that work 54 years later. Wow.
Oh my gosh, that would
be so cool.
I remember my aunts making those.
That would be so cool.
They are neat. I'm surprised you don't see those pop up more, because I know my aunts had those in the aluminum trees, of course.
Well, you are the reason I have that little guy right there, because we went to a craft pottery studio where we painted, and it's a really awesome one because they let you bring in booze.
Yeah, it is a fun. That was a fun
time.
Boozy craft time.
Pizzelles, you're speaking Christine's language. So I'm not going to attempt pizzelles. I've got to make another 3 dozen cookies for Christmas. Yeah. Apparently we're doing a Christmas cookie exchange for the holidays with my husband's side of the family.
Oh, okay.
And I'm kind of cookied out. After the 6 dozen I made for the Hibernians, I'm kind of cookied out.
Well, I'll tell you, pizzelles are a good time to make, and if you pour yourself a glass, you get through it before you know it. But and I actually have a few pizzelle irons if you want to borrow one and give them a go.
I might have to try that. Pizzelle covered in chocolate drizzle and dusted with powdered sugar. Now that sounds freaking good.
Yes, it does sound good.
That sounds really, really good.
It's funny, they everybody. Well, I belong to a group on line called the Wedding Cookie Table Group, which is mostly.
So I was introduced to the Wedding Table Cookie Group on Friday.
Yeah,
when we were at the Hibernian Hall.
Yeah, and got her chocolate chip cookie recipe off of it, right? Yeah, it's funny because the big debate is whether you put whiskey in your pizzelle dough or not. And usually the best way to make,
yes.
well, yeah, you put it in there because it makes them crisp. It helps.
There's not much I
them on-
don't put whiskey in, so
Yeah, so it helps, but it's yeah, they're good. They're my favorite cookie.
all right, I might have to try them then. I might have to. We had an aluminum tree and a color wheel for years and years in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Now, those I do remember.
Yeah.
I remember those. Yeah, I made, and that's part of the fun of it. It's because I made those Irish cream cookies. Well, it's like some for the cookies and some for the chef, and some for the cookies and some for the chef.
Those were delicious.
Sure, Kitty. I can't eat all the cookies anymore, so I don't make them now, but I used to do 40, 50 dozen. You are mad. Holy cow. That's a lot of cookies.
That is a lot of cookies.
Dude, I had to take a day off to work to make 6 dozen. My cookies they're big Irish cream cookies, and you can only fit usually like 6, 7 onto a sheet.
Right. So
it takes quite a bit of time. I mean, I do have 1 foot going for me now, so I can't really stand the whole time, but it wasn't totally miserable, but I was glad when the cookies were done. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
All righty. What do you think of Power Sink? I really like this one. I'm really kind of depressed that they don't make it anymore. The Power Sink.
Yeah. Now that it's gone, but no, that's, if you find a bottle, that is especially if you like a good.
If you guys find it, it looks like this.
Yeah.
It has a green label that says signature.
And I like the whiskeys that aren't hot, but they're spicy.
And that is this one. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice one. I like the little bump up in ABV. I like the 46%. I think that's kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Christine says, and homemade shortbread. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's basically what the Irish cream cookies are. It's just a shortbread cookie recipe, and I added booze. But
not a snickerdoodle.
Now, did you get not a snickerdoodle? No, not a snickerdoodle. No. Did you get one of the shortbread cookie pans from that place where I got the cookie stamp?
It is on its way.
Okay.
I have a couple that I bought, I think at Target a couple years ago that are.
Okay. I thought you had I'd not heard of shortbread cookie pans until I was talking to you. I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah. I have, I ordered one from there, and I have, I think Nordic Ware has snowflake imprints, and they make a good looking. They come out looking really nice for shortbread.
Oh, nice!
I think they make like 9 or so.
So, Chris, the Vasquez, I mostly bake bread. However, I did make apple dumplings and ramekins today. That sounds good.
That does sound good.
That sounds really good. I watched my husband order TJ's, and that's pretty much it.
There you go.
No, I overdid it a little yesterday. We went to a local brewery here in Columbus.
How was that?
And did curling. That was wicked fun, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So they set up this outdoor ice rink, and they set up curling courts on it. And instead of using the big stones like you would use in curling, they use like mini kegs. So the kegs are probably like that tall. And they're actual kegs. I mean, they're heavy, and they've got the handles at the top, and you slide those across the ice. And you can rent with your lane. You can also rent these little heated igloos, which we did rent it, but we didn't really need it because it was freaking 50 degrees.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad here yesterday.
For Ohio in December, that's warm.
Yeah.
But it was a super amount of fun. I'm a big curling fan anyway. I watch it on the Olympics. I've got like an app on my freaking iPad where I play curling.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It's so easy to make 4 ingredient shortbread and cut them in strips with a pizza cutter. That's a good idea.
Yeah, pizza cutter. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Nothing wrong with ordering out. That's working hard and working smart. That's right.
There you go.
I order food out quite a bit, especially this week, because I mean, I've got to make stuff, I'm sure, like you do for Christmas. You don't want to cook. All right. So we're going to get into the next one. This is everyone's favorite Powers John's Lane. 12-year age-stated whiskey. So this one is maturation is mainly first fill bourbon barrels, some refill bourbon, some ex Oloroso sherry, bottled at 46% non-chill filtered. And unfortunately, I think with all of these, at least the info that I was able to find, there is some artificial coloring in here, which is unfortunate. And again, this is the old bottle design. So if you can still find one of these, you get a handy dandy little map of the old Powers Distillery. I really liked that. I'm not a fan of the new bottle design, but I've been lucky. I've been able to find the old ones. Ben, actually, my friend Ben in New York found me he found me the Three Swallows. That was the last one I needed. And cheers, Marty. Mr. Whiskey Nose, happy holidays. And redacted, yep. I love this one. John's Lane is one I recommend to people all the time, especially for people who enjoy Irish whiskey. They're wanting to take that next step, maybe spend a little more money on a bottle, get a little bit nicer bottle, and they're looking kind of maybe at Redbreast 12. I recommend this one, especially if they're bourbon drinkers. A lot of my friends who are bourbon drinkers like this. A lot of vanilla, and I get apricot on the nose and spice.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of orange, like orange zest.
On the front of the tongue, the apricot really comes through for me.
Yeah. The apricot is kind of front palate.
Yeah.
Then you get kind of more the vanilla, kind of sugary cookie mid palate, and just that nice spice. It's nicely balanced between the fruit and the spice.
This is the one I was waiting for to try my. I get 2 fruit cakes every year for Christmas. One is from Collins Street Bakery, and then I order. A friend sends me that, and then I always order from Gethsemane Farms down in Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
And it's like a bourbon soaked. It's just delicious. But I know a lot of people don't like fruitcake, but those two, especially this one from Kentucky, is amazing.
I don't typically get fruitcake at Christmas time. I get Stolen.
Stolen, right?
I do enjoy some Stolen.
It's good.
And I make bread pudding. But...
Well, I think the first time I tried Stolen was with you. I think we were at a party or something. You brought it.
Probably. I like that the one that has a marzipan in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. Aldi had those this year.
Aldi is legit for German food. Aldi is the German grocery store.
And I saw, for folks everywhere else, they won't know anything, but Adino's Bakery here in town, which is one of the older bakeries in Columbus, and they do a lot of restaurant and sub shops, buns and breads. They used to make donuts, but they stopped making donuts this year, I think. Mm-hmm. But they had an article in the Columbus Dispatch that one of the original owners, that's his yearly tradition, is to make Stolen. And I'm like, okay, wait, they're like, I thought they were totally Italians. But Columbus is such a mix of like a lot of German. There's a lot of German Irish, a lot of German Italian. German's prevalent through Columbus. So I haven't had a chance to get up there to try any, but I might sneak up there Tuesday and try and see if I can score a loaf of that.
There you go. Sugar Kitty says John's Lane needs to pair with a racine Kringle. That's another German pastry, but Sugar Kitty, you'll have to tell me what that one is, because I don't think I've had it before.
Is it like a big round?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking with
filling in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that what I'm thinking? Is that the right thing? Kringles?
I think so, but Sugar Kitty will let us know if we're right here. Oh, thank you, Eric. And thank you, Taste and Sensibility guys. I appreciate it. I love Irish whiskey, and kind of fell into it and then went completely down the rabbit hole. And then next thing you know, this happens. So but I'm happy to share it. I like sharing the whiskey with people. This one was one that the John's Lane I always have on my shelf. I like that it's still priced. It's still 70, 75 here. So it's still affordable.
That's about what it is in Kentucky as well. So
and I like the ABVs a little higher.
Yeah. I think it's a good gift to give to friends, or like a housewarming.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
It's well priced, and it's not, it's not too much and it's not too little. And I think it's one that they'd really enjoy. And I think it surprises a lot of people, because like I said, I think a lot of people like myself for years just grabbed the regular Powers bottle because we knew what it looked like and didn't really pay attention to what was on the shelf next to it.
You actually brought back Patty.
Yeah,
you were smuggling Patty back for the pub.
That was it. First time I tried Patty was we were at the Blarney Stone, and we did that, and then my mom and my aunts wanted to go shop at the Blarney Woolen Mills.
Oh, the Woolen Mills, yeah.
Yeah. So two things. My Uncle Paul and I walked into the nearest pub, and we were sitting there. And the one thing I finally asked, because I saw it all over Ireland, was they had beer coolers full of Coors and Bud Light. And we finally asked the bartender, like, what's the deal with this? We come here to drink Guinness. And they said the Coors is from the TV show Dallas. They said Dallas was such a popular show there. Everybody wanted to drink what J.R. Ewing drank. And then Bud Light was hitting there because I think that was the beginning of the kind of the business relationship with Guinness and Bud Light, of the start of all that. But I drank Patty. I said, well, now what's Patty? And he said, he laughed. He goes, that's the college boy drink. he said that's the college boy whiskey. He says it's good. He says, but he said it's like you Yanks do Jack and Coke. He said, because that's what when you turn of age, you ask for a Jack and Coke or something like that, and usually your first introduction is Jack Daniels. But he said that at the time that was the college boy Patty. But before I went, I had just joined the Shamrock Club, and they told me, they said, we will give you, they paid a bounty for anybody that was going to Ireland. If you brought back extra bottles of Patty, you got so much off your membership.
Yeah, because we didn't have it here in Ohio.
Yeah, you couldn't get it. And what they did was they would sock it away and put it in the back room until St. Patrick's Day and green season hit. Then all of a sudden Patty would show up at all the parties and stuff. But yeah, that was back in 2002. So it was for St. Patrick's Day, 2003. And then I think it was maybe not long after that they started selling it here. Maybe 2008, 2009, I think it first started coming. Yeah. So I know I was living in this house, so I moved in here the last day of 2000, and I think it was maybe 5 years after that Patty started showing up here in Ohio. But
and we're exploding. We're getting I think it's like 26 or 28 new Irish whiskey brands next 2-3 months. Sugar Kitty says Aldi or Liddy Little.
Lidl.
Yeah, real German grocery. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't notice. I did notice the Lidl. I didn't notice that one. I noticed the Aldi when I was in Germany. That was more over by the Rhine.
Lidl is entering the States, but I think they're mainly on the East Coast and maybe Southern East Coast right now. But they have plans to expand.
JR had no taste. Should have been a warning sign.
Yeah.
That's funny. They're all watching Dallas.
We're
watching Father Ted. They're all watching Dallas.
Yeah. There was a reason he got shot.
All right. So we're going to have our last pour here, which I probably need to pour a little more of it. I didn't pour much.
Gotta switch out my glass.
So we're trying now the newest in the Powers lineup. This is Powers John's Lane Cask Strength. I don't know if I can reach that far for my camera to adjust. No, it's not good. Okay. So this one is 57.8% ABV. So they said this was a new core lineup item. Well, to me, core lineup means it's going to be available globally. No, that's not the case. This is an Ireland bottle. That being said, it is something they have on their website. They're going to release another batch every year. So it's going to be something you can find if you're going over there, if you've got a friend going over, if you're in a state where you can have things shipped in, you'll be able to get this. And it wasn't expensive. I think this one before shipping, it was like $90, $100. It wasn't a lot. Not as much as you would think, and not as much as I would certainly pay. Oh, that smells so good. A lot of vanilla, a lot of spice.
Mm-hmm.
There is a local bakery in New Orleans, Hadel's, that has Christmas kringle kale pastry that they'll ship. Ooh, that sounds yummy. You guys are making me hungry. But I don't really want to cook. Might be going on DoorDash tomorrow and see if Aldi has any stolen and kringle. I'll order it for delivery to my house.
I forget. There's a couple. Tremont Goody Shop does kringle every year. Hang on, Stacey. I gotta let the dogs out.
Okay, you're fine. Oh, hey! Cheers, the Kentucky Coffee Bean. I am glad you're joining us. So Scott is my guest is going to go let his dogs out real quick. We are drinking, let me solo me here. So we are drinking, this is Powers John's Lane Cask Strength. Oh, come on. And it won't focus. So this one is an Ireland bottle. This one is 57.8% ABV. This is going to be released every year. For those of you who are watching, who watch later tonight, for Livewire Whiskey's Secret Santa, you might see somebody getting a bottle of that. Because I'm not going to say who my Secret Santa person was, but they may be getting a bottle of that. Let me know what you guys are drinking in chat. I am a big fan of this. So look at the color on this. Let me pour a little bit more of the regular John's Lane. Unfortunately, I think, I don't know if this one has artificial color or not. Yeah, it doesn't say, but I bet it does. I bet it does, which is a shame. I don't think it really needs it. But they do have it colored. It's pretty color. I'd like to think it's natural, but probably isn't. And cheers, Peter White. It's good to see you. So next week is Christmas. Is it Christmas or Christmas Eve? I am not going to be going live. It's Christmas Eve. I'll be traveling to the family, doing the rounds. New Year's Eve, I'm still up in the air. I might. We are thinking of having a few people over, so I might just make them part of it. We'll just have a party stream. Let me know what you guys are doing for Christmas. I cannot believe it's already next week is Christmas. Where the heck did December go? I don't know where the fall went. It's flown by. Hey, my Christmas spirit is what?
My Christmas spirit is
whiskey. I love that.
I got this at.
I might have to steal that one. That's good.
I think Life is Good is where I got this one last year. Their T-shirts. I always try and get some of their holiday shirts. So
I love that. I don't have any Christmas shirts in my my merch store. Probably one of my favorites that my husband and that Devin has is one that says, "What part of Pub Mahone don't you understand?" Yeah, John, the entirety of 2023. I totally agree with you. Oh, there you go, Peter White. We just had that one. So we're trying this John's Lane cask strength. This is noticeably different than the standard John's Lane. So all that apricot that we were getting at the front palate on the John's Lane 12, I get none of that.
No.
On this cask strength. It's vanilla, and then you do get some woody notes with this one. I get some of the oak.
Yeah,
then a lot of taste.
Yep. Yeah, it's very spicy, but you get that vanilla up front and a little of the oak, and then the spice kind of hits.
Yeah. But that was the most noticeable difference for me between the two, is that there's no spice on it. There's no fruit on it. That it's all spice. Right. And that just that little bit of fruit you get, the little bit lower ABV, you don't get. But
so what is everybody's traditional holiday pour for Christmas?
What is yours?
Mine? Well, I always get my parents have a huge Christmas Eve party for all the relatives. And my job is to make Irish coffees. So we line those up. But my dad and I, for years,
your parents' house looks like the Buena Vista Cafe in San Francisco. I see you have a whole line of Irish coffees.
We have upwards of 25, 30 people there that night. And then Dad and I traditionally, ever since we went to Ireland, Dad bought the first bottle of Middleton. And then I've bought them every year since. So we usually save Middleton for Christmas Day, and Christmas Eve we'll have a pour with my uncles, and then Dad and I will have a pour of Middleton, very rare, on Christmas Day. So that's usually our tradition.
Irish coffee is a thing for some friends for New Year's, but not Christmas. I usually we do have some Irish coffee or just a pour in the morning. Because our tradition, we usually, like Christmas Eve when we get home from Mass, we'll have a pour of the Redbreast 27. And then on Christmas Day, I make bread pudding. And I usually have a pour of the Liberator tawny port cask to go with it, because I soak the raisins in the Liberator tawny port single malt Irish whiskey, vatted malt Irish whiskey overnight, and then use those in the bread pudding. So I'll usually have like a pour of the Liberator to go with it. Plus, family. Christmas, the whiskey probably helps.
You know what's weird? I always expect more people to do eggnog. But
I don't like eggnog.
Really?
I don't know.
I like
Irish cream. I just don't like eggnog.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
blend
I wonder if
list
that's the
or
case.
can-do batch strength sherry bomb for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
Sounds good. Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah.
Kilco, you be excited. So Two Stacks Irish Whiskey is bringing their Irish cream to the U.S. I think I threw out the bottle of it. Yeah, I completely drained my bottle of it. But it's a black bottle. It's really good. It's got double the whiskey other brands. It's got double the cream of other brands. It's very, very good.
And they're bringing it out in cans too.
Yes, they have
canned the can size.
Irish cream, people. Yeah. Canned Irish cream.
That was my heartbreak of the year for me was Two Stacks had I won the lottery to early order their Pump Up the Jam.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was able to get a bottle of that and a couple of the cans. And then everybody was talking about the Irish cream. So I tacked on, I think, 2 bottles of the Irish cream with my shipment. It got caught in customs, got sent back. I think it made 3 trips back and forth between here and Ireland trying to get it to me. And finally, DHL sent it back to Two Stacks, but they didn't let them know that the Irish cream bottles had been broken or destroyed in the handling.
Yeah, and that's probably what sent it back because it just got damaged.
Yeah. So I finally get my Two Stacks Pump Up the Jam, which I was thrilled at, and I reach in and it was the stickiest bottle. It was like literally, it was like I was like Spider-Man. This bottle was like stuck. And I'm like, did it leak? And I'm like, no, it can't be this, because it was like the wax was still on it. And I was like, everybody, well, I think
because you sent a picture and you said, did it leak, and posted the volume, and we all looked at our bottles. We're like, no, that's where ours are.
No, that's what it's supposed to be. But then Two Stacks finally figured out. They said, yeah, they just sent the package down to Irish whiskey auctions to get it to me, and it was like a day after that I had it. But the customs people and the DHL people gave Two Stacks no hint that there was damage done to the shipment, and so I still haven't had a chance to try the Two Stacks Irish cream.
It's so good. I thought so. Up to that point, Five Farms was my favorite Irish cream.
Yeah,
Two Stacks is my favorite Irish cream now.
I'm looking forward to getting some.
You would think so. It is their for everybody out there. It's their usual like their cask strength blend. So it's that 2% peated malt is in there. It's the same whiskey that's in an Irish cream, which you wouldn't think it would work. Totally works. Doesn't taste peated or anything. It's really, really nice. And cheers, Zophyr 1920 Eggnog Squad. I can't get into eggnog. I try.
I like it. I just don't know.
Usually have some bourbon, but now I found out about Irish. I have to have some Irish whiskey. I love Irish whiskey on Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Because do people put bourbon or rum in eggnog?
You, sir, are asking the wrong person.
Yeah,
I don't drink eggnog.
Well, I just wonder because
everybody in chat, what do you guys put? If you have eggnog, do you add bourbon or do you add Irish whiskey? What do you add to it? Oh, there we go. Eric says Evan Williams eggnog is very good. Okay, so that's bourbon.
A lot of people have told me
Gopher does either.
Either, but not both, right?
Yeah, but not both. You're making me think, and maybe on Christmas morning, maybe we'll have a pour of the bottle that's right over there, the Redbreast Christmas cake.
Oh,
I
nice.
haven't opened that one in a while.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Did they release that this year too, or no?
No, that was Middleton Barrel Club last year.
Okay.
They have not released that. Everybody's clamoring, please release that one. I did hear a rumor though that I don't know if you probably had not had a chance, because I just posted it late last night to watch my Irish whiskey gifts ideas video. Redbreast PX. There has been a rumor floating around online that is going to be a U.S. exclusive.
Wow.
So they're going to start releasing more of that, and it'll just be for US, and I mean, you could still find some around here.
Yeah.
But it's great buy. It's phenomenal bottle. It's a great buy for the MSRP.
Yeah.
Don't go crazy and spend $200. It's not worth that. But it's very, very good.
Yeah, it is good.
Taste and sensibility, bourbon or rum or rye. I would not think
Rye. No,
rye.
see, yeah, that's surprising. I would give that a go.
Ooh. I also you make hot butter rums. Now that sounds freaking good.
Yeah. Yeah, I had that maybe 10 years ago for the first time, and I really, surprising. I didn't think I'd like it, but I really enjoyed that. I know the other big holiday drink, I think it's more a Wisconsin thing, is Tom and Jerry's.
I usually the one I make when it's winter months, it's not really a whiskey drink, although you can add some, is the Goldvine, which is hot mulled wine. Yeah. Although I was thinking next batch I make of adding some of the Cologne blackberry rum to it. I thought that would be
that would be good.
It's a fun time of year to try the festive drinks. It is. It's a perfect time of year for it.
And I still like just the straight old hot toddy with Irish whiskey.
I just did a video on hot toddies and did Irish whiskey and tried one with Scotch and tried one with bourbon and tried one with rye. And just did straight up regular recipe, honey, lemon, cloves. And let me tell you, Redbreast cask drink, it's hard to top that one.
Yeah.
It's so good. Redbreast PX is wonderful at a reasonable price. Yeah. Don't get crazy and pay. It's not worth $200.
Yeah.
And this is coming from somebody who bought 4 bottles of it last year or 2 years ago when it first launched.
Yeah.
It ain't worth that. Flaming rum punch can be a great Yuletide thing. That does sound good.
Wow.
Every grocery store in Wisconsin carries Tom and Jerry batter. There you
go.
Batter,
yeah. Is it like a custard, or because they that's what they call it, is a batter. I know. I wonder if they're going to do them down at the jury room this year, because last year they had a whole big thing of it with who is it? Jamie Porter.
Okay.
That's a big family thing with him, and they did a night with the Tom and Jerry's, but I don't know if they're doing it this year.
I'm not 100% sure, to tell you the truth. I'm not quite in green season mode yet. I'm still trying to deal with Christmas. I'm not ready for. Yeah. We call it basically January 2nd starts green season. From January 2nd till St. Patrick's Day is green season. And I'm not quite there yet. John's Lane is very good, spicy pot still fruit. I get the fruit on that. So if you like that fruit, the regular John's Lane, you're gonna like it. The one thing that is missing with the cask strength is that fruit. It's more vanilla, it's more oak, it's more a lot of spice, a lot of that clove, cinnamon, almost like a spicy ginger. I've never had one. Doesn't sound appetizing. Well, Scott, thank you for jumping on. I really appreciate you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for the invite.
For me, buddy. I appreciate that. I'm sure I will see you a ton more this holiday season.
Yes.
Thank you guys all in chat. I really appreciate all your support this past year. We're not going to have a live stream next week. I am going to be traveling to my family's for the holidays. New Year's Eve, you never know. I'll fill one in. I'm taking time off, so you never know. I might just do a spontaneous live stream in the middle of a day. But thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try to plan some fun stuff next year. We'll do the brewery, pair up some whiskey and some beer again. I think that was a lot of fun. It's something I really enjoy, pairing those up together. So I hope you do too. All right, 7:00. I think Kilco is going live. I saw him in here earlier, and now I don't see him. So I'm guessing he is live now. Livewire Whiskey, 9:00. Make sure you guys check out Livewire Whiskey. I am going to be making an appearance with the Secret Santa is tonight. So I will see all of you then. Scott, congratulations on Hibernian of the Year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys again. I'll see you next time. Sláinte, everybody.
Sláinte, everybody. Happy